Economics. Today we will be giving a class on BA fifth semester Economics major on statistical methods. Some of the topics are relevant for third semester also. So students of third semester may be benefited watching this video. We'll be starting from the first unit. I will be doing the whole course for this fifth semester statistical method part, and this is allotted to me. So all the classes will be given by me in this channel. So you keep in touch with this channel as you have subscribed, so you will be getting all the videos. Now today we will be touching the first topic, that is measures of central tendency. What is central tendency? What is central tendency, or sometimes called average? Actually, statistical, the basic objective of statistical analysis is to get a single value of the whole statistical data. If you in your higher secondary, you have seen you collect data, in primary data, and you also get secondary data, and in a bulky way. But that particular thing do not sometimes do not give any specific or relevant meaning. But if a single value can be derived out of that particular data, then we can have a comparative understanding, a precise meaning, and in future statistical treatment that can be used. For making you clear about the concept, let me give one example of your higher secondary result. If I ask a particular student, what was your higher secondary result? How was your high secondary result? Now, if the person starts saying that, sir, I got 71 in English, then 52 in political science, and then 60 in economics, then 80 in MIL, then 45 in education. Now, so many data he is saying, and in that case it will be very difficult for me to assess his quality or to understand. Instead of that, if he says, sir, I got 60%, that 60, from where that 60 comes? He may not get 60 in any paper, but his percentage is 60, and that 60 is the average, a single data, which helped me to assess his performance with his friend's performance. So this is central value. This 60 is the central value. Here it is mean. So there are some measures of central tendency. We will be talking on that, and we will be discussing how to derive these central values. There are basically many central values. One is, if I write, one is arithmetic mean, AM, or sometimes simply said as mean. Then second is geometric mean. Arithmetic mean is common to you in your school level, or in simple averaging, in any day-to-day averaging we use arithmetic mean. Geometric mean is another thing which is very much useful in helping constructing index number or complicated studies. Then we have harmonic mean, HM, harmonic mean. Then we have positional average like median and mode. So one by one we will be doing each and everything here. Arithmetic mean, geometric mean, harmonic mean, median, and mode. We will be watching how we can solve this simple statistical tools. Whatever. Now, these are measures of central tendency. Now, a measure of central tendency must have some characteristics. It should have some. First, I have said what is the use, because it is represented in a concise manner, like that result, it gives you a clear-cut idea about what we are talking about or what is his performance or whatever. Second, it helps us in comparison. You imagine one boy telling you that marks of each paper, which is up and down, and another boy is also telling you the marks, and which is also up and down. Now the marks are not matching, and you cannot say who has done better, because he may get 70 in political science, he may get 45 in political science, but he get 32 in economics, he got 80 in economics. Now you cannot compare. You cannot compare these two persons because their marks are different. But when you find out the percentage or simple average, then you can compare them. So that is the use of central tendency, and then there is a use of further statistical analysis. If we want to find out the deviations, or even in case of correlation or other regression or other activities also, this average will this measures of central tendency will help us in calculation. Whatever it may be, then there must be some what to say, when we have seen there are so many measures of central tendency, and which measures of central tendency is appropriate to use for your particular purpose, that is a question. Since we have many, so which one we use? So that may be a question in your mind, or while doing some statistical work. So the ideal measure of central tendency must possess some characteristics. There should be some characteristics, and the first characteristics is it should be rigidly defined. Rigidly defined means in any case it should give a single result. It should not be that vague. That means sometimes it is giving you result that is 60, sometimes it is giving you result 61. That means it is not defined well. If Madan do the sum, and if Shulekha do the sum, then what happens? What result Madan get using the formula, that result must be obtained by Shulekha using that same formula. So it is rigidly, in that way it is rigidly defined. Then easy to understand, that is one of the characteristics. It should be easy to understand how it is working or what is the thing. Should be based on all observations. There are some, I will come into that, there may be 10 or 15 data, and when you find out mean, in some mean, some statistical central tendency, you do not base on all the observations. In case of arithmetic mean or whatever, it is based on all the observations. So they are taking account of all the observations. That is very much important. Median do not take it. So we will be watching that also. And I said that it should be useful for further statistical treatment in your future. Whatever statistical method or whatever statistical tool you are using, in these central tendencies should be able to help you. So why I am telling all this thing, I could go directly to the sum part, because this statistical paper not only consists of practical of sums of statistics, but also theory part. There are so many questions which comes from theory area, that means in statistical paper. So it is not that you can find out how to, you can find out mean, you can find out median, you can find out all this, so it's okay, your syllabus is over. No, don't think that. You have to give equal importance on the theory part. That means what is central tendency, what are the uses of central tendency, what are the characteristics of a ideal measure of central tendency. So that type of question also comes. So it's there in your book, so you have to study these things, you have to make short notes. Let me come to our topic then. Here I will take a break of 2 to 3 minutes to make you understand a particular concept which is very much important to understand the formulas. Because some of you may have the idea, but many of you, I know many of you don't have the idea. So you must have the idea. So for that reason, 2 or 3 minutes I will take to explain some concept regarding series. What kind of series are there? There are basically 3 types of series, and first one is individual series. What is individual series or individual observation? Individual observation is, say, Ram got marks in paper A, got 10. X is marked 10 in paper B, got 15, in paper C got 8, and in paper D got 16. So here I am talking about one single person, that is Ram, and his marks. This is called ungrouped data. This is called ungrouped data. Why it is called ungrouped data, you will understand when I talk about discrete series. This is called ungrouped data. And this is individual series because it is individual observation of a single person. There is no grouping. So this is called individual observation. Okay. Now let me come to group data. That is called let me come to discrete series. Let me come to discrete series. So here what happens? Here we write marks like this. 10, 15, 20 and students, or it is also called frequency. Here frequency is number of students. Frequency. So there are 3 students who got 10, 4 students who got 15 and 8 students who got, sorry, not 8. Generally it don't happen. Say two students who got 20. So here what is the difference between this? This is group data. Why group data? Because 3 students got 10, 4 students got 15 and 2 students got 20. This is discrete series. This is a group data discrete series. I am telling you how it is grouped. I can make it individual series also. How? Like this. 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15, 15, 20, 20. Now it is individual series. Why? Because here you see all the data are there. But what we see that these are common values. These are common values and these are common values. So we make them as group. So this is discrete series and group data. This is ungrouped. I think it's clear why ungrouped. This is group. Now there may be a confusion for you. Though I need not explain so much, but sometimes it happens. Students do common mistakes. Roll number or something else. 201, 202, 203 and marks 50, 60 and 70. Say for example that this thing is there. So since you see number in both the columns, so some of the students take it as a discrete series. No, it's wrong. Here it is not number, it is roll number. That it is not data. It's an identity. It is also individual series. Don't get confused. Now, why it is called discrete? Why it is called discrete? Discrete because I discuss individual series, I raise it, I hope you understand. Why it is called discrete? Discrete because it is not continuous, simple thing. It is not continuous. That means this is a continuous line and this is a discrete line. It is broken. Why it is broken? From 10 you directly jump to 15. Why is 11, 12, 13, 14? No, there is no 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's why it is called discrete. Whatever. Now, if I take all the values between 10 and 15, then the series will be like this. Ci 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30. If I take like this and frequency 10, 15, 20 and 5. Say if here also it is group data. Here also it is group data. Why I am putting it in groups? But the difference is that here from 10 to 30, no single value is missed. That means if a particular student got 14, he will be entering here. If a student got 22, he will be entering here. But here it is not. This option is not here. So this is continuous series. This is discrete series, and that one was individual series. Why I'm telling that these things I am discussing? Because depending on the series, whether it is individual or discrete or continuous, your formulas will be differing. Okay, let me come to the calculation part. We have concept, now we can directly go to our calculation part. First I will be dealing with arithmetic mean. What is that? It is called AM, arithmetic mean. So the formula will be same, single formula will be applied in individual, discrete and continuous in a modified way. Basic formula will be same, I will show you, and then it will be differing. Individual series. In case of individual series, the formula is x bar equal to summation x small x by n. What does it mean? Summation x means x1 plus x2 plus x3 xn. I don't know how many values will be given to you. If 5 values are given, then it will be x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. And if 10 values will be given, it will be going to x10. And n is the number of observations. How many observations are given to you? It's very simple. Say x equal to 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, 10, then say, let me increase it, 10, 10 and 1, 2, 3, 8. So, this value is there. So, you are asked to find out the mean. So, how can you find out? X bar equal to, it's direct method. I am not showing indirect method in case of individual series because that will be just wastage of time. I will be showing it in discrete series. Okay. So what is that? So you can write like this or like this. So if you write like this, then it will be x1 plus x2 plus x3, or you can directly write dot xn plus xn by n is 1, 2, 3, 4. You write n. First you write the formula, and after that you put the values 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 10 plus 18 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So what is the value? 10, 10, 20, 20, 20, 30, 40. 40 by 5. It's 8. It's 8. Okay, but it's not necessary. You don't write all these things like this. You directly write summation x by m, and summation x, if you add them, it's 40 by 5, it's 8. So this is your arithmetic mean. This thing you know, all these things you have done in your matriculation and also in higher secondary, those who have basically in arts, in education and economics, both. Now, I told you that particular formula will be applied in each case. Now, if I come to discrete series, if I come to discrete series, it will be x bar equal to summation x. It's wrong, it's not that. Summation x by n, it's not the formula. But I am writing this because I have written it early for individual series. For your better understanding and for your not understanding, to keep it in mind, I am saying you will write the same formula. Just what you do, you have to modify something. Here you use f. Frequency. Why? Because your discrete series is like this, x and f, 10, 20, 30, 40. So it will be 2, then 4, 6, 3, 1. Say this is the value which is given to you, and I am using direct method. I am using direct method. Now, how to find out the mean? Simple. The formula is telling you what to do. You have to multiply f and x. And what is n? N is the number of observation. In our last case, n was 5 because there were 5 observations. But here in this case, it may seem there are 1, 2, 3, 4 observations, but it is wrong. It is not 4 observations because when I was explaining you the discrete series, I told you how we can break this 10, 10, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 4 20s and 30, 30, 30, 30, 3 30s and 140. That means your n will be, number of observation will be 2, 4, 3 and 1. That means 7, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your number of observation is what? 10. How many values are there? 10. Number of observation is summation of frequency in case of discrete and continuous series. Why? I explained. Because they are clubbed together. They are group data. So you have to break them up. And breaking up means 10, 10, 20, 20, 20, 20, 30, 30, 30, 40. So in this way, there are 10 values. Okay. And you should get fx. Fx means f into x. So if you multiply 20, this will be 80, 20, 80, this will be 90, this will be 40. So if you add them 0, 10, 10, 19, 19, 4, 3, 23, I think 23, yeah, 10, 10, 14, 14, 9, 23, okay. So, 2, 3, 0, 0, 0 cancel, your average is 23. This is called arithmetic mean, and we have derived it through direct method. There are other two methods. One is called assume mean method and another is called step deviation method. But almost both are same. Only one step is different. So that's why what I will do in case of our this case, I will only show you the assume mean method. In continuous series, I will show you only the step deviation method. I will tell you, no worry. Just keep on watching this video, you will understand. But we should get the same result. Whatever method you apply, you should get the same result. That should be let me keep the result somewhere. It is 23. So the result was 23. So let me write it here. X is 10, then 20, 30 and 40. And frequency 2, 4, 3, 1 and n is 10. Now we will be using assume mean method. So for assume mean method, as the formula says, assume mean method, you have to assume any value as mean. Generally you take it from the middle. You assume from the middle so that the deviations are less. Okay, you can take it from 40 or 10. That also you can assume mean and you will get the same result. But for your convenience, if there are 5 values, you take the middle one, third one. If there are 7 values, you take the middle one. And if there are 4 values, you take any one of the middle two. That means 20 or 30. Let me take it as 20. So the formula. Let me write out the formula first. In below you have to write. We know x bar equal to am plus summation fdx by n. This is the formula of assume mean method. If it is a step deviation, just one common value would have been taken. I will be showing you, don't worry. So what we need? We need one assumed mean. So we have taken this as assumed mean. You can make it as circle. A light circle you make for your convenience. So it is 20 plus you have n is 10. I know. You don't have deviation dx. Let us find out deviation dx. What is dx? Dx is x minus assumed mean. You have taken one assumed mean now. So you have to deduct it from all the x. Your assumed mean is 20. So what you do? Deduct it from 10. 10 minus 20 is minus 10. 20 minus 20 is 0. 30 minus 20 is 10. 40 minus 20 is 20. So this is your dx. But you don't need dx. What you need? F dx. So you multiply f and dx. So what will be the value? Minus 20, 0, and this will be 30, and this will be 20. Now plus 50. In this way you write here, because this will be bigger now. I have given a smaller, so to make the video small, minus 20, and this will be what? 30. So you have 30 here. 30. So this 0 cancel. 20 plus 3, 23. So our answer is matching. Our answer was 23. In individual series it was also 23. Here also it is 23. Now why I told you to take it from middle? Because if you take it from 10, then 10 minus 10 is 0, 20 minus 10 is 10, then 30 minus 10 is 20, 40 minus 10 is 30. These values would have increased. These are actually methods to make the calculation simple. But some of you may think that what sir is saying, this is not simple, the previous one was simple. Yes, the previous one was simple because I kept the data simple. The data is very simple, 10 to and n is 10, very easy. Without calculator you can do it. But when the data will be difficult, then this method will be simple. That method, the direct method will be difficult because the data may be very big when you multiply those things. So this is your what to say? First one was direct method. Then this is your assume mean method. Assume mean method of finding out arithmetic mean. And then I told you that I will be doing step derivation method with the help of continuous series. Same formula, just one step more. Let me go to continuous series. These things were done in your school level and high secondary. That's why I am doing it a little fast, because we need not to spend so much time here. We have many more difficult things to do in statistics part. So continuous series. In case of continuous series, what happens? So your series may be like this. Ci 10. Let me put it 20. 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60, like this. And you have frequency 2, 4, 8, 5, 1. And again it's simple. So this will be, so n, let me first directly calculate n. This will be given to you, but n will not be given to you. You have to find out n. That means calculation. I will make it round figure so that it helps me to do it without the use of calculator. This will be 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 9, 9, 9, 20. Okay. So n is 20. So this is given, and you are asked to find out mean. So direct method, what to do? In case of direct method, the formula is same. I will not do it. I will tell you. The formula is same. X bar equal to summation I'll write the wrong formula for this because I'll write the first formula, then I'll modify the formula. Okay. Summation x by n. This was your formula, na? And then for discrete series you put f x and n. That was the modification you did. Here what you have to modify, because you don't have here x. You see there is no x, just ci, class interval. So what you have to do it here, you have to write summation fm by n. What is m? M is the midpoint. Midpoint or mid value of the class intervals. What is that? Lower limit 10, upper limit 20, lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So lower limit 10, 20 divided by 2 is 15. So this is your m. Then here also lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. But you just check whether these are regular or not. 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, 40 regular. They are not 30 to 60. If they are regular, then you do one thing. Directly you add 10 with, you see the difference between lower limit and upper limit and lower limit. And the difference is 10. So it will be 25, 35, 45 and 55. For your security or for your convenience, you can check the last one. 60 plus 50 is equal to 110. 110 by 2 is 55. Okay? So it's alright. Now what you have to do, you have to multiply f with m, fn, and whatever value you get total, you have to put it here and divide by 10. So you will be getting the things. Direct method you will do, and assume min method you also do here. Here also you can apply assume min method. I will be showing assume min, but a little developed, that is step deviation method. I will be showing you step deviation method here. So what was the formula of assume min? Let me first write the formula of assume min. Assume min method formula is arithmetic mean plus summation f, that was dx, but here it is not x, so it will be dm by n. This was the formula of assume mean. What is the formula of step deviation? X bar equal to am plus summation f dmc, same thing, by n, just here a dash and here into c. What this dash means, what this c means, I will tell you. Same thing, just one step to make it more simple. I will tell you what are those things. So let me erase it. Let me put only one formula, that is step deviation method. Step deviation method. And so we know, you don't write in short, step deviation method SDM, you write full. And you will not be asked to do it in by this method or that method. You will be asked to find out the result, but you have to know all the methods. We know x bar equal to am plus summation f d m dash by n into c. So what you do, what you have to do here also, you have to find, take one mean, assume mean. You have to assume from your own. That may be wrong, but we will be adjusting that one. So I told you that to take it from middle so that deviation becomes less, it will be 35, and here the mean is from m, not from x. There is no x in continuous series. So you write here 35. You know your n is 20. You write this thing. Remaining things you don't know. You will be knowing. No worry. So what is your dm? dm equal to x minus not x minus am, assume mean. X minus assume mean. Assume mean is your 35. 15 minus 35 minus 20. 25 minus 35 is equal to minus 10. 35 minus 35, 0. 45 minus 35, 10. 55 minus 35, 20. You got this? Now you need d dash m. What is d dash m? You take out the common value from here. There are three common values through which you can divide all. The first common value is 2. You can divide all the values by 2. You can divide all the values by 5, and you can divide all the values by 10. You see? So you will be taking the highest common value. The highest common value here in this case is 10. In your case, in other math, it may not be 10, it may be 20, it may be 5. But in this case, it is 10. You say you can divide all the values by 10. So you divide all the values by 10. So it will be 2. See, it becomes small. -1, 0, 1, and 2. The value becomes so small. So what is this 10? 10 is the common value you take. And you cannot take as you wish. Okay. I just want to take it, so I take it. It cannot be done. You have to give it back. Otherwise the calculation will not be good. Okay, not be right. Say 2 plus 3 plus 2. 2 plus 3 plus 2 equal to 7. Okay. You take 2. You take 2 away. It will not be equal to 7. It will be equal to 5. Then you have to give 2 again. 5 plus 2 equal to 7. I hope you understand. You are taking 10 out of it without any logic. It cannot be possible. So you have to return it back. How you return it back? By multiplying C. And that C is the common value. That means 10. So you have taken it from here. You have given back it in this place. What is the benefit you are getting? The benefit is this value is becoming very small. That is that's why it's called step deviation method. You are taking a deviation from here. Okay. Now you can find out f d dash m. My place is becoming. That part the area was blocking, so I have erased that area formula from that area and put the formula here. I hope you understand. Just to make it very clear. Now I told you that we have arithmetic mean, and that is 35. We have n, that is 20, and the common value, that is 10. We have taken 10 common, and we need f d dash m. F d dash m. So this is d dash m and this is f. You multiply all these two things. 2 into minus 2, that is minus 4. 4 into minus 1, that is minus 4. 0. 5 into 1, 5, and 1 into 2, 2. I think I have not committed a mistake. Frequency and the step deviations. 2 into minus 2, minus 4, 4 into minus 1, minus 4, 8 into 0, 0, 5 into 1, 5, 1 into 2, 2. Okay, so this will be minus 8, minus 8, and this will be plus 7. Plus 7, so this will be minus 1. Minus 1. So this will be minus 1. Summation f d dash m is minus 1. 0, 0 cancel. Minus 1 by 2 is equal to 35 minus 0.5. 0.5. So it will be 34.5. 34.5. So this is our answer. 34.5. If I have not done any mistake in multiplying, because I am doing it manually, so it may happen, whatever. So this 34.5 you should also get. You take it as your homework. You do it and you post it. You do it with the help of direct method. Whether you got 34.5, you must get 34.5, and if it's right. And in the assuming method also you will be getting 34.5. But what is happening with the step deviation method? The simple thing I have said, that step deviation method is making the things simple. Okay, so this is how we can find out arithmetic mean. This is all you need in case of in finding out arithmetic mean. There will be some other maths related to arithmetic mean, but the basic arithmetic mean, finding out arithmetic mean, process of finding out arithmetic mean are these three. That means individual series, discrete series, and continuous series. And in all, there will be direct method, assuming method, or step deviation method. But generally, in case of individual series, we don't go for this step deviation method and assuming method, we can individual series we can do it directly. So with this we end here. We'll be coming up with geometric mean, harmonic mean in our next classes, and the interrelationship between geometric mean, harmonic mean and arithmetic mean. This is a very important question which repeatedly comes in your major final examinations. So you will be understanding those things, no worry. But just watching the video will not do here. Just watching the video will not help in this case. You have to practice. You have to practice from your own. Take some maths from your statistics book, or even if you don't have statistics book, go through the higher secondary books and take some and do it yourself and see whether you are able to do it or not. And you have to remember the formulas. Formulas you must keep in mind. You cannot copy it from somewhere, so you set it in your mind. With this we end here. Hope you understand, and if you face any problem, please mention it in the comment section. I will be dealing each and every problem individually, and we will be progressing throughout. Thank you.